Russian President Vladimir Putin is issuing a chilling new threat, saying that he's ready to use nuclear weapons if his country's independence is threatened. And he defines that threat as the U.S. sending troops to Ukraine. Putin warning the West just 2 days ahead of Russia's presidential election. And as Ukraine launches new attacks in Russia, well, we're following all the developments. Our foreign correspondent, Patrick Reevell, joining us now from London, along with national security and defense analyst and former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for the Middle East, Mick Mulroy. So, Patrick, let's talk about the Vatican here, also doing damage control after Pope Francis said Ukraine should have the courage to raise the white flag and actually negotiate an end to this war with Russia. I mean, was the Pope really suggesting Ukraine should essentially surrender to its oppressor?
Hi, Kira. Yeah, I mean, these comments by Pope Francis have caused a lot of upset in Ukraine and among people who support Ukraine. I mean, yes, I think his sentiment basically was that if it should take courage, basically, for Ukraine to admit that it is currently losing on the battlefield, and therefore it should try and accept defeat and negotiate on Russia's terms. The problem is that throughout the war, Pope Francis has said things that have upset Ukrainians because they feel that, he essentially is looking at it from the Russian perspective. He's always, in many of his speeches, especially in the first year of the war, he often seemed to be equating the two sides. He seems to be suggesting that they were more or less on the same standing, even though, of course, it was Russia that launched an unprovoked invasion into Ukraine. And so Ukrainians really struggle to see, to take these comments from him. And they say, you know, why is it they should have the courage to surrender? Why doesn't Russia have the courage to withdraw its troops? Kira?
So, Mick, how much of a concern is this Putin nuke warning to NATO countries? It's not like he hasn't made these threats before.
That's right, Kira. I think President Putin realizes that his military was wildly overestimated in their capabilities. And now every time he thinks he's threatened, he starts talking nuclear weapons. As you pointed out, he's done this many times before. I don't know that this is any different. There's multiple different kinds of nuclear weapons. There's strategic, which of course would be massive. And there's also tactical, which could be used on the battlefield. Both are bad, but one is much worse than the other. And that would be the strategic.
So, meanwhile, Patrick, Ukraine is also launching dozens of drone strikes into Russia today. What's the latest on the fighting?
Yeah, today is actually, it appears, the largest drone strike into Russia since the full-scale invasion 2 years ago. I mean, the Russian military says over 60 drones were launched into Russia. A major oil refinery caught fire during those attacks. And this is the second day of widespread drone attacks launched into Russia. Ukraine has also, in the last 2 days, launched a major incursion across the border into two border regions involving dozens of pro-Ukrainian Russian fighters. It appears that some of those fighters are still in a village on the Russian side of the border, very close to the border, but still over the border. And Russia claims it's repulsed the attack, but it appears that fighting is ongoing there. And obviously all of this is timed, it seems, to Russia's presidential election this weekend, when it's clearly expected that Vladimir Putin will receive a fifth term. This seems to be an attempt by Ukraine to try and have a psychological impact and to try and make clear that things are not going all one way for Russia. Kira?
All right, Patrick, Mick, appreciate you guys.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.